how to alchemize your potential. First thing you want to do is focus on what you're not good at. So we're going to do some inversion here. Thank you, Charlie Munger. And figure out what things you are not good at and avoid them. Therefore, thereby avoiding mistakes and wasting time and wasting money and wasting effort. We are basically going to circumvent the pitfalls and the pits and the trenches and avoid falling into them and wasting time and twisting an ankle and just creating more complexity in our lives. That's the first step to alchemizing your potential. You need to figure out what doesn't give you potential, what doesn't fuel your potential. And then what you want to do is start to put together the ingredients and alchemize the traits and the skills that you do have that do serve your potential and put them together and alchemize them to serve you. So how do you do this, right? You need to actually identify the proper traits and skills and attributes that have some level of chemistry, right? Think about, at least the first thing that comes to mind is think like athletic, like think basketball teams, right? The players, like the 5 players on the court need to have some level of understanding and nuance and expectation and knowledge of each other and their skill sets and be able to play together and work well together to win, right? And so this is what's called chemistry. It's this idea behind how well these players play together. And so you need to create chemistry between your skill sets, between your attributes, between the ingredients that will that will individually serve your purpose and serve your potential, but aggregated together and at the macro level, these things will help to alchemize a really, really transcendent level of potential for you. And so to refocus them to refocus your attention and your energy into this alchemization, right? Into this process of dialing in and meshing together what you're good at and meshing that with your personality, with your character traits, with your skills. To do that, you need to write it down. Like write down all of your skills. Take the 16 personalities test and figure out what your personality is. Take an aptitude test. Figure out what hard skills you're actually good at. Ask the people around you and figure out what soft skills you tend to have. Like, are you charismatic? Are you a good speaker? Are you a good listener? Are you good at leading, right? Whatever it is. And then from there, from these lists of different character traits that all when they're aggregated together form your identity as a human, you can then start to alchemize them. You can start to group them together in ways that have strong chemistry. And when you group them together, these traits and aspects of your personality should be similar, but in terms of the aggregate group, there should be a lot of polarity between groups. So like if there's certain traits that lean towards like charisma and the ability to influence and move and inspire, those should be grouped together, and that should be really polar to another group of potentially like of being very disagreeable, being cultivating an identity of not abiding by authorities and not following the rules, right? That should be very polarizing compared to like the charisma. So like these, you can think about these like little boxes that bounce, or like particles in the air, right? They bounce around, going through the air, and they bounce off each other, right? They collide and bounce off. And you want them to be at the point where they are so polar to each other that they're like phobic, right? They don't want to mix. They don't want to homogenize. And this polarity with each collision, I don't know why I'm making this scientific, but I mean, the title of this video is how to alchemize, right? And so the polarity with each collision of these character traits and personality traits and skill sets will release energy, right? It will release energy with each collision, and this energy will stack. And this is in the form of your potential, right? Your potential will be the outcome of these collisions, right? When you're able to mesh together and alchemize your skill sets and your personality traits and your and your emotional states and your everything that makes you you, and you're able to mesh them together and view these categories and put them in polarity with each other, then you create this aura, right? You create this aura that's just kind of exudes potential, right? You kind of reach another level, a new state of mind, an upper echelon of being, right? And as a result of this, you increase the likelihood that you will fulfill your potential because you're aligning your character traits with everything else in your life. And I'm not saying that this will be the magic silver bullet to solving all of your problems and it'll just instantly lead you to success like that. But what I'm saying is this will create an environment, it'll create an identity for you that is conducive to achieving what you want to achieve, to reaching the levels that you want to reach, right? And so alchemizing your potential sounds like this woo-woo magic thing, but there are behaviors you can do to get there, right? Focusing on what you're not good at. Write down on a piece of paper all the things that you know you're just not good at, that you just don't have a knack for. Things that you've seen other people do that they're just way better than you at it. You write those down on a piece of paper, right? All of them, and then you burn that piece of paper, right? And symbolically, you say goodbye to those things that you're not good at because you won't even focus on them. You won't even worry about them. They're out of your life. You won't fall into the pits. You won't make those mistakes. You won't waste that time and energy. Instead, you're going to focus and dial in on what you are good at. And you're going to mesh this together and alchemize them with your personality traits, with your soft skills, with your hard skills, with your character traits, and all these things, and mesh them together and create these polarity relationships. And eventually, you will reach this energy state where you are genuinely just so full of potential and you can really empower and energize the life that you want. So this is how you alchemize your potential. I hope this didn't sound super voodoo or too scientific. I wish someone would have been there to tell me that this is how it works, that you need to just like work your way through your character traits and your personality traits and your skill sets, and eventually you can come to an answer that makes a little bit more sense. And I hope this helps at least a little bit. Goodbye.